Howard Stern Show.
All right, on our phone is Senator D'Amato, one of the greatest senators ever.
Howard?
First of all, what are you, on a car phone?
I'm on a car phone.
Jackie Mason's here.
I heard. I was driving into work, and I heard you guys. I called you last night.
I know you did. My wife doesn't know how to work the answering machine.
Did you get that tape? You should have saved it.
I did save it. You give me permission to play it on the air?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you got to hear the message.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the message.
And Robin,
yes,
you person of little faith, you said the only reason I called is because Jackie Mason was here. Here I called yesterday to give him political advice.
Oh,
well, let me say something.
And by the way, you ought to sign up Jackie for your campaign.
Well, I would. And he promised not to say Schwarz's.
Hi, Jack.
How do you do? How do you do?
Good.
I worked very hard for D'Amato's campaign because I happen to love this man.
Yeah, me too.
And he is proving now what I've always said about him, that he has more guts than any 50 senators put together, that he fears nobody and tells you exactly what's on his mind, and he fights for what's right and for what's true, and all the attacks on him, everybody who has ever said it now looks like an idiot because this is the guy with more integrity and probably one of the few people left with integrity in this whole government.
Well, I'll tell you something I like about him. First of all, you can find this guy. You actually see him on TV talking about things.
Yeah, he actually stays in touch.
You know, Senator Moynihan, where is he? Is he in a coma? I mean, where is he? I don't see him anywhere.
We see him every 4 years.
Yeah, where is he?
Or every 6 years.
Well, he's working on the tax bill now. He's on the health bill. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, you know what I mean. At least I can find you. Hey, listen, I just want to say something.
You gave up on me after I sang that song for you on the
No. Senator D'Amato, the other day on the floor, I was watching C-SPAN. He comes out. I had no idea. He comes out on the floor of the Senate, and he says, I want to talk about the FCC, that there is censorship going on in this country. He says,
did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yes, I was the press today.
I want to thank you for doing that. That is the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. I mean, you're the only politician I see who's upset about our First Amendment rights.
Well, I did it because it's the right thing. They've got this wacky commissioner. He's 80 years old, doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Right.
And is trying to censor, and he's using that FCC as a club to beat the owners, Infinity Broadcasting, into punishing you. I think that's what he's trying to do.
Well, what Senator D'Amato said is, it's fine if you don't like Howard Stern. You can turn off the radio. You can boycott him. He says, I don't care what you do to him. He says, but you can't have a member of the FCC, a government guy, say to the owners of the station here that you can't buy radio stations.
First of all, where does he get that power from? Why isn't this a constitutional issue? Why can't this be brought up in front of the courts?
Well, I brought it up on the Senate floor, Jack, and I think that's the first step, and then try to get the other members to see the danger of this, because if it's Howard Stern today, it's Rush Limbaugh tomorrow.
No, but
we don't mind it happening to Rush Limbaugh. Let's be honest.
Well, what I'd like to know is this. As a matter of fact, Rush Limbaugh is the guy that started this whole thing against Howard Stern.
That's right.
I'm going to keep that quiet. Let me ask you a question.
You know something we don't.
Thank God there's nobody listening, so I brought it up. But I want to ask you a question. What happened to the simple fact that if somebody's rights are being violated, like in this case, which is obviously a freedom of speech issue, why isn't it brought up in front of the courts?
Well, it is, but you know what? It will cost Infinity hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It'll take them maybe 2 or 3 years before it finally works its way through the courts, and that's wrong. In other words, when the government is doing, supposing it's a little guy, Infinity has the money and they can go and they can fight, but it costs their stockholders millions and millions of dollars.
That's right.
So why can't you make a countersuit against the FCC and win all that money if in case you
Because you can't win against the government. This is what I mean. An 81-year-old bureaucrat who is sitting and trying to tell 18 to 54-year-olds what they can listen to, who's out of touch. He is sitting there, and you know what he's doing? He's having a party. He's jerking them around. He's getting his name in the newspaper, and instead it is costing people millions of dollars.
Yep. As a matter of fact,
justified.
Yeah, that's no problem. Let's just abuse. And I don't know where our president is on this. I don't know where this guy is. I don't know why he hasn't said it. All I keep hearing him saying is, there's too much TV violence. Who cares? TV violence.
Now he says, no.
Yeah, I'm getting fed up with him. Hey, listen, I got a quick question.
Yes.
Now, you know the office you're supposed to run for, right?
What is that?
Forget this business, Governor. It's president.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Vice president.
I didn't want to...
Wait, you guys. FCC. FCC.
I didn't want to say anything. You know, I'm running for governor, and I plan to stay in office.
Don't you think he ought to start with one office first?
You got the wrong guy. President is me.
Hey, Jackie, quit trying to hone in on my thing here. I got to tell you something. I am going to be the governor just for a couple of weeks, but my dream really is to be president for like 2 days. You know what I mean? That's all I need. Something like
2
that.
days for president,
and who's
3
going to
days
be
for
your
governor?
vice presidential candidate?
No, let me ask you
All
something.
right, who's going to be your vice presidential candidate?
No, who is going to be my lieutenant governor in this race? Give me a name of somebody who you think is an excellent public servant who would make a good governor once I step down, after I bring the death penalty back to New York. Give me the name of a really hard-working public servant.
The Menendez brothers.
Somebody like yourself.
Come on, seriously, Senator.
Well, I have to think about that. We'll get back to you on that. I mean, you're not going to make that decision overnight.
Sure I am. I make every other decision overnight. Why shouldn't I? I made the decision to run for governor overnight. Why not
he
this?
He made that in a split second.
Do you know how many people are going to show up in Albany? You'll have 10,000 people there.
Well, I hope you'll be there. Even though you're a Republican, I think you can cross over party lines. All right, thank you, Senator.
Listen, good being with you.
All right.
God bless you, sir.
And take care,
I sincerely hope you make a comfortable living.
And I certainly can't thank you enough for what you said about me and Infinity Broadcasting on the floor of the Senate. I thought it was very brave because you know what? You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that for me. And you know what? Nobody cares. You care about the constituents of New York.
Because I want to tell you something. Number one, you're my friend. And number two, you happen to be right. It's the right thing to do.
Thank you, Senator.
And besides, he needs a few dollars. You're good.
That's right.
That's right.
I want him to plug my book.
All right, Senator. Thanks.
Take care.
That is the great Senator D'Amato. He wanted to say hello to you, so I asked you to come back. Thanks, Jackie. Jackie Mason. New Broadway play. Very exciting day.
Politically incorrect.
Hey, suddenly I'm looking pretty legitimate with Jackie Mason and Senator D'Amato. There he goes. See you, Jackie. Bye-bye.
All right, don't get too full of yourself. Blowing yourself up with this hot air over there. Don't you hate it when people start doing that? Yeah.
Oh, the Hillary Clinton's on line 4.
Well, wait a minute. Got to take that call from
Come on over and unbuckle my pants.
Hold on for a second. Senator D'Amato's on the phone.
I got to tell you something, though. You know,
only guys can make that noise.
Yeah, I know. Girls can't do it.
I can't do it.
It's like this.
I can't do that.
You know, Infinity Broadcasting is a publicly traded company that brings a lot of money into the state of New York. And they are being treated. I mean, forget about that it's me. Where do you see a guy, a bureaucrat in government, sitting and saying, I don't like Howard Stern. I think he's a wise ass. And not only do I think he's indecent, but just to jerk around the station that owns him, I'm going to prevent them from doing business. Even though there's been nothing found that they're doing anything illegal, I'm going to prevent them.
These fines have not been a deterrent, he says. So I figure we have to step up our attacks.
Yeah. Do you believe this? No, they've been plenty of a deterrent. I've got to go to court now and prove that I'm not indecent. But I refuse to...
But since when does a guy say, you know, instead of for the system to work, I'm going to...
Yeah. Well, because he's 81 years old.
Company around
he doesn't know how
abuse power.
He's 81 years old. He doesn't know how much time he has left on the planet, and he's going to make a stink before he goes down.
I don't care. I don't know why he cares so much. He's going to be leaving us.
I don't know. He just wants to make sure he makes that mark on society, you know, for the 18 to 54-year-olds to tell them what they're going to listen to. And his good pal, Terry Racolta, the very good-looking, vivacious Terry Racolta, who gets way too much attention from the media.
I'd like to talk to her for about 10 minutes. I can figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, let me interview her. As long as she's making the decisions for what the country's going to listen to.
You're not capable.
81 years old. How many 81-year-olds you know that are that in touch anymore?
That want to listen to the same thing you want to listen to.
Yeah. He goes, I don't like the way he talks. He's a wise ass. Gee, didn't know you could abuse the Constitution for that.
That little boy is not listening to me, so I'm going to smack his hand.
Yeah. And I don't like that he makes a living off the radio. Finally, one of the FCC commissioners turned to this guy and told him to shut up. And then he blew a tizzy, and they had to do a whole makeup scene in front of the National Association of Broadcasters.
Well, yeah, I just don't even understand what's going on. They said there's some big convention, and the head of the FCC, who usually comes and speaks every year, is not going to do it this year. Yeah. And they're worried. They're like, what kind of a relationship is this? I don't understand what's going on.
I don't even care. I gave up. It's just too weird. I'm just so sick of politicians and the way they, well, it's TV and radio that's causing a problem. No one asked your opinion on that.
Did you see
Fix
in the
the
paper
roads.
today Janet Reno saying, well, television doing better. She's like a school teacher.
Yeah.
She's been grading television. Television's doing a little better. She hadn't even watched it as a child. She has no clue
Her mother,
what goes on TV.
Janet Reno's mom wouldn't let her watch TV when she was a kid. What do you think of that?
And now she's the school teacher, the school marm, who's grading television and telling them on their comments side of the report card that they're doing a little better, but they could do a much better job, and we still have work to do.
She has work to do. No one reminded her that she still has work to find what's going on in Crown Heights, where a young boy was killed by an unruly mob. She's supposed to be looking into that. Any reports on that?
The work she did in Waco, I think they gave her a bad grade on in the court, but she doesn't care about that.
Yeah. Burned up some hippies. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Doesn't matter what she's done. Television hasn't killed a soul.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird. And, we have to deal with it every day.
Amazing.
We get lectured every day. We have a whole thing going on here. That's why I'm getting out in a year and a half. I'm doing this governor thing. I'll be governor and then, make
For
a
3 days you're going to be governor. What are you going to do after that?
I'll write a book about it. We'll take a break and we'll be back right after these words.